So recently I made a pretty good video about turning a character design into an anime figure, and that character was named LilyPop, and I made a whole character design sheet and I really liked it. I put a lot of effort into that video and the character, and I kind of don't think that 17 minutes is enough to expand on the whole drawing process of the character and designing it. So this video is here to also expand more on that character, and also to provide a painting demonstration. You see, never in my channel have I ever alluded to the fact that I might be actually good at drawing. So when I made that character, I decided, why don't I try to draw my own character, because that's kind of fun for an artist. And I did that, and I put that artwork into the video, and a lot of people actually like the art, so this is another reason why I'm making this video. And also because I gotta talk freely without a script. I love talking to myself in my room in front of a computer. This is just wonderful. But this does mark the start of me posting more art, drawing type videos, because I really wanted to for a long time. I actually have a whole art account which is on Instagram, and it's connected to my main account. This one. I need to start propping up my art account so I can get some commissions. I need money. I'm going to college. I need to pay my debt. Anyway, so expanding on the character design. So LilyPop, I alluded to this at the start of my 3D printing video, and if you haven't seen that video, you should probably watch it. But I alluded that I made this character for AP Art in my senior year. What does that mean exactly? Well, AP Art is a class in high school. It's like a art class. It's a college level class. I'm pretty sure everyone knows what APs are if you've been to high school in the last 10 years. So basically, I made anime figures for AP Art, and what I did was I would make a sketch sheet, which was what you saw in that video and what you're seeing right here. I would make this, and then I would make a design of the character in 3D, and I would try to make the figure. That was my AP Art portfolio, which is the dumbest thing ever. I basically made anime figures for a class in high school because by senior year I had become so powerful as a senior that I could do whatever I want. And don't worry, I took AP Art in my junior year, so I took AP Art twice. And I took AP Art in my junior year, and that year it was just normal, alright? I made regular artwork. But in my senior year, I realized I could abuse the system. So I made anime figures for high school, in a high school class, a college level class. I made anime figures, and I got a 4 on that AP test in senior year. This character was the first character I designed in that class, and there are 4 more which I might make videos on later. But for this character, it's basically what I told you in the last video. It's a character based off pop anime art. She's really bright and is carrying a lot of themes about like happiness, music, freedom, and all that jazz. And if I have to say so myself, this character design is actually pretty, really good. Usually when you see high schoolers make original characters, they aren't that good, and I think it's because they don't stick around a theme to that character. That character has to personify or express something, and then people would find it interesting. But since I'm still a beginner in character design, I can't give you that much advice, maybe in a future video. And I think now it's time we start looking at the actual process of making the art. So here I started off with some lame sketch or doodle, whatever you call this thing, to make the art. And this sketch probably took me like 2 minutes. I just scribbled it on there really quick. And it's not that I was perfect at sketching or anything in composition. It's more like I just sketch and have a bunch of thumbnails and a bunch of different tries. And then when I like something, you just go with it. This sketch is definitely very rough, so then I tidied it up a little bit by adding some more details so I could tell what I was actually drawing. For this character, I wanted her personality to be very energetic and confident. I thought about her background a little bit because as a character designer, you try to place your characters into different worlds, and I thought my character would fit in a fantasy setting where I guess people live in clouds or something and there's no ground, and then she's one of the few people that control the flying whales or whatever with her horn and music or something. I don't know, maybe her stories around music and bringing that back to the people. So she's a special musician out of all the people, and she's really confident and does her job as a herder or something, I'm not sure. So to express that personality, I gave her a lot of bright clothing and some more tomboyish features, but the main thing is her expression in this artwork. Just looking at her expression exudes a lot of confidence and control over her life. While I'm drawing this, I keep looking back at references, as well as my own reference obviously, to see how the character is modeled and designed. One thing I'm glad about is that I made this kind of scene in my design sheet or whatever, and it kind of lays out her background and what kind of environment she lives in. And having an actual scene that your character design is in helps a lot when you're trying to like draw it, you know? Like honestly, drawing this was pretty easy because I kind of knew everything about the character. I 3D modeled it. I knew every inch of her body, even though that sounds a little weird. And then I knew the environment she was in, which was basically just some clouds and a bunch of fantasy elements. So basically, it felt a lot like I was drawing fan art, even though I made the art. And the reason why fan art is so popular in artists is that you don't have to think when you make the art. You just use someone else's ideas. So it's really easy to draw the environment and the design. But when you actually have to draw your own design and make something original, all your brain starts getting, like, you actually have to start thinking. It's like a test. But that's what makes original artwork so much more special than fan art. The blocking out stage is what I think is the most important stage in art because it transforms some random lines into actual art that you can interpret with your eyeballs. You can see that in my style, I do a very messy job of blocking out. In fact, I don't even use line art in my style. I don't even know if you know that. But it's super messy because it allows me to tweak the colors very easily and the shading and all that. And this is basically your only chance to adjust the colors of the drawing because once you start detailing and rendering everything, then it's extremely hard to like tweak shading and colors and your whole design really. And I gotta say, I really love the colors of this character. Like you look around in anime and all that stuff, most character designs are like they have a new color of hair and they have a uniform and that's it. And even when people design cool looking characters, they usually stick to just one color because that's safe and makes it cohesive. But I really like when characters go creative and outside the box and do something different, which is what I did with this character. I know I'm showing a lot of pride in this character's design, which might be bad, but I just wish that a lot more characters would be similar to this. As I said before, I don't do line art in my art. Maybe when I make more art videos and stuff, I could be cool. It's because the norm for anime art is to have line art, obviously. And not having line art might be a little weird, but it's pretty nice actually. Here I start rendering the details and textures on the drawing, and it's pretty easy when you don't have to be confined by lines. I'm a very simplistic artist, so I just like having freedom in drawing, just painting on all the colors, and I only have like 3 layers while other artists have like 5,000. You guys are crackheads. But this way I can really go crazy with the art, which is this character's whole theme. Crazy, pop, messy, I don't know, fantasy, it's crazy. Also, I wanted to point something out because I have a lot of free speech right now. I can talk about whatever I want. On the figure I made of this character, I actually forgot to give her a belly button, which is kind of weird if you look at it too long. But in this drawing, I was smart, right? I added the belly button back, but now looking at these two side by side, it disgusts me. I don't know, I just don't feel good about it. It's very unique for an artist to 3D model their character before actually drawing their character. Because before this, I had my character sketch sheet, obviously, but that wasn't too detailed. I have a character sketch style where I just keep the lines on, so I don't have to detail it that much. And you can see that you can't really tell any details when you zoom in, but it's a sketch, so I don't have to put too much details on it, right? But when I was 3D modeling it, I had to put all the details, every single detail. And that made me add like these wrinkles, which is more realistic to the jackets, to the model. And that in turn made me do the wrinkles on this drawing. Like, who's gonna design their character with rim wrinkles, whatever this is, to make the jacket more realistic in their design? No one's gonna do that. So that's why I think you have to really render your characters out. You have to draw them a couple times, maybe make an anime figure of them until they get really fleshed out and well made. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I wanted this artwork to be very bright, but I'm pretty sure you picked up on that. When you think of sunlight, you obviously think of happiness and freedom, so this character is getting hit by some good old bright sun in some bright blue skies above the clouds. And I wanted to really emphasize that by shading the character very brightly. Usually anime artworks go very safe on the shading. There's nothing too bright, but nothing too dark. But for this artwork, I really wanted to push the contrast, and wherever the sun hits, it's basically white out, it's really bright. On the flip side, on the shadows, there's a very nice and vibrant backlighting, which is inspired by this artwork. At this point, I decided that the character was done and I needed to focus on the background, so here's a nice little time lapse of the background. My original idea for the background is from the character sketch sheet, which just has bubbles and a flying whale because flying whales are cool. While I was modeling the character, I decided to add stars and some balloons in the clouds because I couldn't add a whale or bubbles when I 3D printed it, obviously. So adding all that together, I got stars, balloons, whales, and bubbles, yeah. It's heavily inspired by this artwork, which has the balloons, whales, and bubbles that I'm talking about. This is where I flex about the non-line art style. I can freely add bubbles and paint on the whale and do all this random crap because I don't have to be confined by line art. I haven't used line art in so long that I don't even know how to do line art anymore. Like, what do line art people do? Do they like leave the lines on the whale back there? What about the clouds? The bubbles? How do you line art bubbles? I don't understand. Like, you look at this artwork, it has lines for the girl and everything in the foreground, but nothing in the background, so what's the point? This one though, I really like the line art in this one, I gotta give it that. Here's another fun fact. On the anime figure of this character, I forgot to add the bracelets and some earrings or some other very small details. And maybe it was because I was kind of lazy, because 3D printing a bracelet to fit on a character is kind of annoying. But luckily with drawing, I can do that very easily. And these bracelets were inspired by children's bracelets, you know, they make those nice little bracelets. Adults don't really wear these like colorful bracelets. And I think the character also exudes a childish, innocent type of personality. She's wearing very modern clothing that young people usually wear, and I wanted to give her a sense of youth, because youth is connected to freedom and happiness, adultery is not. Another random dumb fact I have is that while I was designing this character, I made it so that her horn would be able to be like strapped onto her, like a strap, so that it would make a lot more logical sense for her to be able to carry that big thing around. But then I realized she has a backpack, so if she's strapping on her backpack and the horn, it's impossible. So in this artwork, I just ditched the backpack. I mean, you're not gonna see it anyways. And then so that her strap could be for the horn. This strap doesn't even make sense. It goes through the jacket somehow, and it's supposed to tie here, but it's not. I don't really care about that though. Who cares? Who really cares? As a final touch, I wanted to add some sparkles, so I did. That's simple. And with that, the artwork is done. So I had a lot of fun drawing this character and designing her. Maybe because of her personality, just drawing it leeches it onto you somehow or something. But let's reflect on this art as a whole. I do think that there is one big problem with this artwork, and it's that it's too bright, actually. I really like this artwork, I think I said that a lot, but the great thing about it is that when you zoom away from this artwork, you can still tell what's going on in the photo. You can still see that that's a girl, and there's something behind her, probably the sky because it's blue. When you zoom out of my artwork, it's kind of difficult to tell what you're looking at because of how white it is. It's just too white. And my regret is that in the blocking out stage, I should have defined the contrast better so that the character would pop more. Another critique I could give myself is that there's not too much depth with this artwork. It doesn't seem like everything is far away and the character is really close to the camera or whatever, the viewpoint. it kind of feels flat. And that's probably because you can't see the ground, which is a good indicator of perspective. All these other artworks you can see the ground and it lets you tell you where you are, but in the sky, clouds could be anywhere and you don't really know where you are. I should work on that more, or maybe I'm just being too critical of myself, because as an artist, every time you finish an artwork, it isn't always perfect. You always look down on things. Everything kind of feels bad. I don't know, our eyes are like broken because it's our artwork. We always see something wrong with it. We're pessimistic people. But yeah, that's it. I enjoyed making this video because, for one, it's very easy to make these videos. You just talk, you just draw. Man, I wish this could get a lot of views and I could, I don't know, pay for my college tuition. I guess I'll start selling these artworks on Etsy, where you can download the full original file with good quality for just like $1. But you can also always download the artwork easily off Instagram, so this Etsy thing is more of a donation. So if you really want to support me as an artist, buy the original artwork. But if you just want to look at it and have it or download it, just take it. I don't really care. And if you also want to support me, you can, I don't know, commission me. I will draw stuff for you, you know, just text me on Discord, there's Instagram, email me. There's a lot of ways to contact me. Thank you guys for watching, and be sure to make some more fun.